So I have to pull out like one of these um, Feng Shui compass,
Oh, okay.
which I have. It's no one quick fix rule if you have a bathroom facing your bed. So I have to go in and check which direction your door is facing. So this is getting a little more technical. But generally, I would say if you don't have me to visit your house, close the door of your bathroom.
Hey everyone, Darren here. Thanks for joining Density Insights, where we interview experts worldwide to give you a better idea of how the real estate industry works. Experts such as real estate agents, developers, world-class investors, advisors, and more can break down any myth and misunderstanding for your own real estate exploration. Now you may be wondering, Feng Shui, why are we covering this? How does it relate to me? We want to cover subjects that not only tie with the facts and figures, we want to explore the unconventional, the culture that people might neglect. After all, real estate is servicing people, not machines. Today, we have Alan to share with you some tips in Feng Shui in real estate, how it works and how it might impact. This conversation is very interesting. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
So hey, Alan. Hey, how's it going?
Good. I just want to check if the lighting is fine. You can see my
cool.
face properly. Everything is in frame.
Yeah, looks perfect.
Okay, great. Because just now I was just trying to test the light level, and because the sky was getting dark a little bit, so I'm just trying to use the natural lighting.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Well, thanks for coming to the show. And then today is very special because I think a lot of people would look at the title and be like, hey, Feng Shui in real estate. And then it's something that everyone will have question because a lot of people believe in it and a lot of people kind of dabble it and some people are definitely curious about it. So I'm really happy that you're here.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah.
And I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. I know you have a tight schedule, so let's go ahead.
No, it's totally fine. And then, so I want to ask first, right? How many years have you been practicing Feng Shui?
I've been doing this 17 years. And coincidentally, I started in 2003, and it was the year when the SARS was starting. So I took some leave, and then I took a course, and I never thought I can actually grasp this idea because I have a technical background from airline. So and here I am after 17 years.
Wow. Okay. That's been 70. That's a long time, actually. Yeah. Now think of it. Yeah. So for a beginner, right, who is interested in Feng Shui, how you explain Feng Shui to them in a very simple way?
Feng Shui is basically a study and observation of the environment. So, I mean, it's about 6,000, 3,000 years in Chinese history. So it's basically gathering of data, observation of the weather, geography, and actually we put a lot of elements of the animals and also the 5 elements.
And would you mind telling the audience more about the 5 elements?
You have the water, fire, metal, earth, and wood. So this is the 5 basic elements which compound with the Feng Shui. So we always like to calculate and make the harmony of all the 5 elements. So if you have too much water, that's not good. For example, too much fire, it's too hot. So we want the 5 elements to be in synchronize and harmony.
Okay, well, in obviously I'm a real estate investor background, and I'm curious, right? How does Feng Shui impact real estate, and why does a landlord or homeowner needs to understand more about it?
Well, really good question, Darren, because Feng Shui, to me and to many Feng Shui practitioners, is actually real estate. Because for people to purchase a house, of course, we mentioned about harmonize. So you want the 5 elements to work for you, not against you. So for us to go to a property, we look at a site as if it's too bright, if it's too even we count a smell. If it's too smelly, that's bad Feng Shui. Okay, if the place is too windy, or all kind of stuff which is too heavy, we want to harmonize it. So we want to balance out all the 5 elements. So for example, let's talk about water, because Feng Shui, the Chinese Shui means water, and water means wealth and health. And also because a lot of big cities, if you observe big cities, they're always located near a big body of water. For example, New York, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Vancouver, Toronto, San Francisco, all these big cities, Sydney, London, have a big river that cuts across. That brings a lot of water through it. So that means wealth and health. So those people who live in these areas will congregate and do well. So this is what the basic concept of how I tell my clients of why they should observe these elements.
I see. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of tips for the audience to know the current condition of their space, if that's the case?
Well, tips. I mean, there's thousands of books out there in the internet and bookstores and stuff. But basically, tips is to observe if you have, like for example, like I put up a photograph the other day, which you see it here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this is one thing I bring out because the other day I was looking at this property the other day and I saw a huge high power tension tower next to a property. By the way, this is UK, so I took this as a reference. So this place was just have this huge high power cables, and you have strong electricity current going through. Although the scientific world, scientists say there's no interference on health into humans, but for us, I think the other way because you have what they call the electromagnetic field, the EMF, which you don't see it, but it's an energy. So like Feng Shui, we're talking about energy. You talk about invisible energy. When the thing goes through your body, you don't even know it. And that's something you should observe. So for me, I would say move away from.
I see.
Especially if you are a fiery person. If you say I have a strong sign of the fire, you don't want to have a clash with this high power tension line because this electricity means fire. You see. So we want to.
I mean, like that photo is interesting because, in my head right away, if it's an industrial building that does data center or something that require a lot of energy, that's very efficient. So I was like, look at it, I was like, that shouldn't be a house. It should be living there. If anything, it should be like a data center, some kind of business oriented that require very low cost of like electricity and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. So if that's the case,
but sometimes sometimes there are exceptions to this because if your profession is into that needs fire, some profession represent fire. So if you're a lack of these, it's no problem. But for the majority, avoid this high power tension line because they are what we know already. It's cancer prone.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wouldn't put my family under the house like this. If,
I get it.
You ask me.
Yeah. So what are some things that, like, let's say the audience kind of know that, something is going on, something is not doing well in the Feng Shui for the real estate, for example. How does the audience can do to help for their own space?
Normally, when I visit a premises or a property, I will look at the setting. So if, say, for example, a residential, so the most important thing is the place that you spend most of the time. So we go to the bedroom first. So you sleep for 6 to 8 hours, I presume, and you spend a few hours there. So I go into the bedroom and have a look at the bed setting. And some people doesn't have the natural instinct of where they should sleep. So I go in and sort of jiggle around and see what I can do with the bed. So if it's in the wrong position, the wrong spot, I would tell them it's changed to a different spot. And especially for places like Hong Kong where the rooms are small. And a lot of problems, another tip here, a lot of problem with Hong Kong's apartments is that the bathroom door faces the room, of course, for convenience. But on the other hand, it has a negative effect because the bathroom door faces your bed. So
okay.
That's bad.
That's
really bad for health.
So sorry about that. So in that case, right, because I'm sure, because like right away, I flow my friend's like bedroom facing a bathroom, for example, right? What kind of things would you do for that situation?
Okay, that's when I have to go visit the site and look at where the bed is facing in relative to the compass. So I have to pull out like one of these um, Feng Shui compass,
Oh, okay.
which I have. Is no one quick fix rule if you have a bathroom facing your bed. So I have to go in and check which direction your door is facing. So this is getting a little more technical, but generally, I would say if you don't have me to visit your house, close the door of your bathroom.
I
Close
see.
the door, and then of course, for hygiene reasons, also close the lid of the can.
I'm sure, like,
that's
since the fire situation, right? I'm sure everyone's really concerned about that. So it's not only feng shui, for a cleanliness point of view. I think that's very good that you mentioned that. So, like, like just now you mentioned a lot of things, right? Like, you have elements, you have direction of the place, how the interaction with different buildings and so on. Do you have any clients that are like, scientific background but still believe in feng shui? And also too,
yeah.
I'm kind of curious, like, like you yourself with scientific background too. Why do you think that people with scientific background that would actually also would understand about feng shui and want to know more about it?
It's funny when I have people with the technical background or scientific background, if you will, they sometimes encounter problems which science cannot explain. Like I know a person in real life, totally technical background, highly educated. He came to me and said, "Look, I have a health issue." So I said, "Well, let me have a look at your property." So he invited me there, and when I step into his bathroom again, I instantly said, "You have kidney problems or lower body problems." He said, "Wow, how do you know that?" Because I looked at his bathroom. It was built very nice, beautiful, but it was transparent.
Oh, okay.
A lot of these interior designers nowadays would like to, it has a good effect to look bigger. If you have a transparent glass bathroom, it looks, it could look kind of sexy, it looks airy.
For sure.
For us, it's taboo.
Okay.
And especially for that purpose, for kidney problems, and ladies also will share the same problem. Unfortunately, he took the blunt instead of his wife. So I said, cover it up, cover all this glass up, or knock it down and rebuild with bricks. He came back a few months later and said, problem
really
solved.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
I mean, you have a kidney problem or stuff like this, you're going to see a Western doctor who prescribe you medicine. That's a scientific way to solve a problem. But then I am looking at this problem with another approach. I mean, how would you like to look at yourself from a bedroom when you're doing your business every day?
I see.
Not really cool. So anyway, so that's one case.
I see. Like also thinking just now too, like when you mentioned a lot is about people who are living there, right? And then obviously, like, we're coming from like a real estate background, that there's a difference between living there and you got like, like owning it. So is it different when it comes to if you're living in that area or owning it? What's the difference behind that? Does it affect each other, or like just kind of curious, like how does that intertwine together?
If you are living in that property, whether you are leasing the property or the owner, say you bought a place even under mortgage, if the house is under your name, either on a lease agreement or a sales and purchase, the feng shui belongs to you, not the landlord.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people say, "Oh, I own a place in Vancouver. So am I subject to that feng shui?" Is that if you are staying in that house in Vancouver, yes, you are. But you say, I'm living in New York, and I have a tenant that using that Vancouver property. So that property cannot tap into the good or bad stuff of the property and so in terms of feng shui. Yeah,
I see.
So it depends on where you sign. If your name is under a lease agreement, that is legally yours. Yeah.
No, it's really cool because like I know this is like our third or fourth conversation together, and then whenever I talk to you, I learn so much that I never thought of it. And then obviously, right, I'm a bit half skeptical, and my family would believe in Feng Shui as well. So at the same time, it's like, you know what, I can see it's not only about, you know, a certain belief, it's about the feeling of it. And then it seems like this is something that like people keep forgetting, that, you know, there are a lot of things that, for example, scientific maybe haven't, you know, hacked it down yet. And then it's something that's very interesting in my mind that I always want to wonder, you know. So I'm wondering too, like for yourself, right? Because, you know, like, do you do all these kind of like consultations, like, you know, like virtually, since like everyone's COVID-19 in lockdown mode, right? Do you like, you know, how do you do right now? Like, do you go to someone's place to assess the property, or you can do like virtually?
Interesting nowadays, where everyone is in isolation, or majority of people isolation. Even though you want to you get invited to a house, I would say don't, because you know you never know the risk. So now,
sure.
can we do this on a remote basis? I said absolutely, and I've done a couple of these virtual inspections. Like the other day, I had a Australian client. He's building a house in North Sydney.
Okay.
So he sent me a floor plan. Of course, he did his homework. You know, it's a bit more sophisticated compared to talking on a phone. So he sent me the floor plan, compass reading, and all so on. And then I looked at the floor plan, and I can analyze from there, from a top view. But also, he have done a lot of videos. So you can shoot videos and send to me, and I can analyze from that screenshot of, you know, how much information I can get it from that screenshot. But however, I must say there are limitations without me being there. So I would say I would discount that by maybe 30 to 40% accurate.
I see.
But of course, he worked with me a long time, so you know he been feeding me a lot of information, and so I can study and analyze, and I give him my advice and a recommendation. So to answer your question, yes, it is possible to do it remotely.
I see. I think it feels like in my head right now, right? There's some like, I think there's some technology right now that have AI or like some kind of like virtual viewing. And obviously, hopefully times go better and better. It seems like this is a service that is actually scalable. It doesn't have to be like traditional way that you have to really walk into a place, but obviously it takes some time until maybe 10 years from now, we can do that.
You're absolutely right, because with technology nowadays, we can use cameras, cell phones, AIs. The only thing I cannot do is smell. Because like I mentioned earlier on in this recording, bad smell is actually bad feng shui. So, you know, I can't do that, but there has to rely on the person on the site to feed me with information. So the more information you feed me, the more I can digest.
I see. So let's say, for example, in this case, right? If it's a smell thing, right? Let's say it smells terrible, right? Like it can be the bedroom or something. So in this scenario, like, does that mean that if you can get rid of the smell or cover with different smell, it will be like better? Like how would you suggest that? Okay.
We always try to use a method as natural as possible to neutralize this thing. You know, maybe there is a problem with your neighbor, you know, so he's causing a problem. So you go next to and say, is this, you know, well, you're not going to say it too bad.
I get it.
How smell. But
yeah,
you would say, yeah, I think we have a problem, you know, as a neighbor. So we're in a, you know, because smell means something is rotten and it could have health issues. So for the sake of the neighborhood, you know, raise this concern, and then let's clean this out together.
You know, in real estate world, right, there's something called rights of light or the rights of way. That means like if, let's say for your asset, your property, something happened that neighbor does that cover your light, you can actually ask for compensation. Or let's say if you build something that actually intervene the way you go to places before. So maybe, you know, this can be a new thing. It can be the rights of smell, you know, you're kind of ruining my asset because it smells bad and the feng shui got worse and stuff like that. I think that's a cool idea, just having in my head just now.
Just like some, I think there's a law in Hong Kong, if your air conditioning is dripping water on your neighbor's roof, you can actually sue him. So it's not just bad feng shui, it's illegal.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so also too, I remember like the last call we have on the phone, you said that this year's bad spots are east and south. Like, what does that mean? I just something that like is just in my head for so long. It's kind of I just want to ask you for a long time.
Yeah, because for me, when I learned Feng Shui, there's one thing we call the flying star.
Mm, okay.
It's like some voodoo idea, but it's real.
Okay.
Flying star is basically this thing changed every year, and this year the bad star is in the east.
Okay.
Okay, so what does bad means? It could mean some natural disasters. In this year's terms, it's a pandemic.
I see.
So the COVID-19 started early this year in China. So if you look at the world map, China is on the east. And I was telling my clients and friends and said, I hope this never travel overseas. If it goes through overseas, look at Tokyo. Tokyo's east. Earlier on, Tokyo was hit with this cruise ship, and it spread around Tokyo City. And then second, you look at the other cases where Korea was hit. Okay, and I never knew this place Daegu was actually at the very eastern quadrant of Korea, South Korea.
Oh, okay.
And not to mention, currently New York has a bad hit. Why not Vancouver? Vancouver's on the west. So Vancouver's hit bad, but not as bad as New York City. Because New York, if you look at the North American continent, it's right at the eastern quadrant. Okay, so that's the bad star. And the number 2 bad star is actually the south. So you look at Europe then, Italy, Spain, bad, really bad.
Okay.
This year, if for a tip again, a free tip.
Sure.
If you want to stay, we use the 5 elements to enhance health. So
okay.
What I tell people, if you don't see me, I can't come to your house. We use metal, okay, real metal. So I suggest people to buy a music box, the one that you turn, that would give you a metallic noise.
Okay.
Put it at the east of your house. If your bedroom is in the east, put it in the bedroom. The music box, the one that you know, the one I'm saying.
Yeah. I get it.
The one metallic ones, because I sometimes tell people use a metal clock, but sometimes metal clock is too annoying because it gives you that click.
Okay.
So it disturbs your sleep.
Yeah.
So that's one tip, because using metal to enhance or to neutralize the bad star in the east this year will be more effective.
To be honest, like this is insane. Think about that, right? It's like, wow, the east side and the star and everything. That's a lot of things to absorb. Like,
yeah.
Do you have any like source of material people can read on? Because like even for me, for myself, like I'm like kind of like on the fence because I don't know nothing about Feng Shui. Do you have any resources that you can share with the audience or myself? Because like it'd be great to like read onto it.
I sometimes post the things from my own personal observation. Like this year, I've actually posted something about the East, actually way back earlier this year. So when people are interested to read the stuff I post, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, which I will pass the information to you later on.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Your audience and fans can go through Denzity.
That'd be great. I actually have one last thing that's in my head, right? Like, I know this is about real estate, but how about investing, right? I know the stocks are going down. Do you, similar way how you predict the East and so on, do you make any prediction on like what sector is growing this year and stuff like that with Feng Shui knowledge like that you have?
Again, let's go back to the 5 elements. The 5 elements this year's, the key element is metal. Okay, metal means, if you look at the precious metal market, if you have, been observing, I mean, precious metal has gone up a little this year and it's done quite well. So I'm not an expert in investment, but I said metal will do pretty well this year.
I see.
So this is my observation out of the 5 elements.
That's interesting because like I know nothing about Feng Shui, and it's like even listen to it, it's like okay, that's kind of interesting. I never thought that way. It's just like different way of approaching it. And obviously, I hope the audience learn more about you. But before that, because like I know we have an ask law thing, right? What kind of takeaway would you like the audience to have from this whole video?
If your audience can go through you, Denzity, or Darren, I can offer him a discount for Feng Shui inspection on a remote basis.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you. On behalf of the audience, thank you.
I would tell your fans to look up to Darren's Denzity, and then you track me down, and I'll give you a nice cut.
That'll be good. So like, I guess like, I think you have a couple of links to send to me, and then later on I'll post everything on the show notes. And then, so I guess the best way, like what's the best way to find you among all that?
You can find me on WhatsApp, which I'll provide you the numbers, and WeChat, and also Facebook, and I'll also give you my email address. Okay. I think that that's really great, because even for myself, I need to digest a little bit. And then thanks for your time, because it is a subject that I'm sure everyone's curious about, and for myself, and I really hope to learn from you another time. And then maybe next time we have a long, view taking that we can digest, or even deep dive to something even more intrinsic. I just want to say thanks for your time, and then hope to have you again. Thanks for allowing me to share my my knowledge on Feng Shui, and I hope your fans will benefit from this.
I'm sure they do. Thank you so much. Okay, if that's okay, I'll talk to you next time then.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching. What do you think of this episode? Please let us know in the comment below. And be sure to hit the subscribe button to keep in touch with us for upcoming videos. But before we go, I want to give a big shout out to Patina Design Lab. They're the one who help us in making our brand, our direction, as well as these videos. They are a strategic design consultancy firm that help businesses with a wide range of design services, from industrial design, branding, graphic design, art direction, content creation, and many more. They are a very talented bunch, and I urge you to check out their website for their work. That's all for today, and see you next time. Cheers.